Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Nigerians. I know you are wondering who these people are. We are Nigerians. Nigerians that are passionate to see a new birth of a new nation. We are Nigerians that want a better Nigeria. We are Nigerians like you that want to leave a legacy to the next generation. I know you're wondering, what message do these people have? We have a message that will restructure your mindset, that will reorientate your mindset. So I will urge everybody that can hear us right now to just sit back, pay attention, and listen to this message that we are about to preach to you. This is not a church, it is not a religious movement, it is a change movement. And we urge you in your house, in the car, in the bus, just listen attentively to this message. In the next few seconds, I'll be introducing the founder of this NGO. This is the Lost Voice Empowerment Initiative, a vision that has a man backing it up. And I will call on this man to pass this message to you. To pass this message. He's a Nigerian like you. So don't think he's a foreigner. A Nigerian like you that has a different mindset on how we can achieve a new Nigeria. So I want you to give your ears and listen. We all need a new Nigeria. Like people will say, this Nigeria is bad, but we need a new Nigeria. So how do we get a new Nigeria? Just listen to this message and you will get the knowledge of how we can get a new Nigeria. With a round of applause, I will welcome the founder of this initiative, Mr. Rawlings, Ogie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If we have few that are listening to us or that are interested in the message that we have today, like I have been introduced, I'm Rawlings Ogie, the founder of this movement, the Lost Voice Empowerment Initiative, a movement that is programmed to bring to the minds, to the knowledge of every Nigerian the way forward. Talking about the way forward, we're referring to the way forward here at home in Nigeria, in conglomerates. There is no Western Nigerian, no Southern Nigerian, no Eastern Nigeria, and no Northern Nigeria. There is only one Nigeria. A Nigeria that in the year 1960, in fight of togetherness, was given an independence. And the constitution of this country was or is enshrined in peace and unity, and also in love. We are one Nigeria with one single dream, one single goal. And that goal is how to become the leader of this continent. There had never been a Nigeria where the Nigerians' dream is how to become those that are being led. The dream of every Nigerian had always been to be those that are leading. we want to lead the world, or at minimum space, we want to lead our continent, Africa. And when you are talking about leadership, there are so many things that are involved. For example, the quality of life, the class or the standard of living, the leaders in place, or the qualities of leaders that you have. And also, without forgetting the point, is also the people, the mindset of the people. We understand that to become a leading nation is the same as becoming a leading entity, which is like a leading company. And to become a leading company or an entity, it requires a high IQ leaders in place. For example, the director, the manager, the supervisors, and also the commitment of every staff of such entity. So, in order for Nigeria to achieve that which we have so longed for 57 years, that in the year 1960, we all glamorously recited the national anthem that says, "Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria call, you obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith, and to uphold our honor and glory." So one of the reasons why this anthem was constituted was to ensure, or to say, or to speak in a loud form or a louder voice, that we are one nation enshrined in love and in unity. But some of this value in the founding book of the Federal Republic of Nigeria had been scrapped off. In another word, had been eradicated. Today, love is what we practically doesn't have among ourselves. The West doesn't love the North. The North doesn't love the South. And the South doesn't love the East. This is because of one simple reason. Nepotism has eaten up the valves of our veins. When a man or a woman who is willing to achieve a great home, a great entity, a great nation, become that man or that woman that has the mentality of nepotism, what that folks is indirectly doing to him or herself is at the same time tarnishing the possibility or eradicating every single possibility to achieve that which he or she is willing to. So, nepotism in a long share, this has to do with being tribalistic. Why should I favor a man or a woman just because we share the same linguistic values? Why? Why should I favor a man because that man is related to me? I should favor everyone in around me just because we share the same value that is enshrined or written or engraved in the founding book of the nation. We are all one. As a Western man, you should be able to love an Eastern man as if he's your own blood brother. An Eastern man should be able to love a Northern man as if they are born of the same parents, because we belong to the same country. We have not got any other choice. We have no other nation except Nigeria. When some of us are putting on some attitude that can tear us apart, what you should understand first is that you have no other nation but only Nigeria. And that name is what we are here today to defend. So many of us today, we have put behind absolutely the name Nigeria, which ought to be the first thing in our mind, in our brain, in all that we want to do. Nigeria ought to come first before every other thing, whether before your ethnic group mates, whether before your tribal man or tribal woman, anything you want to think about. The first thing that ought to come to your mind is the name Nigeria. So, another way of saying that, if you can understand the depth of this value by putting Nigerian first in anything you do or anything you want to do, we all can mitigate a lot of the status quo in the system. Today, the system is fragmented. Fragmented in a caricature states. What we call caricature. Is in state that I can describe as a duplicating states. Today, our educational system is not functioning. Our medical system is not functioning. Security system, they are trying. Every system is somehow. But the issue here is, who are we to fight for all this? That's the main reason why we're here. Who are we to fight? We, the youth of this nation, we are tired of this your age, the archaic age of always looking for someone to blame. Who are we to blame for the debilitated state of every citizen of this nation? Who are we to blame for it? Are we to blame the leaders? Are we to blame the people? Are we to blame our colony masters? Who are we to blame? That's my question. I will first remove the colony master, because in the year 1960, we all agree that we have received an independence. Though in real fact, independent is what we haven't got yet. We will come to that. Now, who are we to blame? How do we move forward in a nation where every man and every woman is living a life of impediment? How do we move forward? What message are we sending to our children? What message are we sending to our brothers, home and in offshores? What message are we sending to other neighboring countries who would see us as a role model? What message are we sending? Are we trying to say that the only problem that we have is because we have bad leaders in place? If that is what you believe, if you think that is the message, then I want to ask you, what are you doing yourself to make the nation a better place? Ask me also, what am I doing to make our nation a better place? Because we all want to achieve a great nation, but we don't know how to go about it. We don't know how to go about it. The fault of what we're having today is not the leaders alone. It's not the people alone. The problem that we're having today, or the state that we have today, is the problem of each and every one that call him or herself a Nigerian. That means you are part of the problem, the same way I am part of the problem, the same way the leaders are part of the problem. There is no one that is free from these states that we're living. No one that is free. We all are the cause of our problem, and we all can only be the solution to our problem. And this can only be met with when we come to the consciousness that, look, what are we doing wrong that we need to do right? How do we do it right, and when should we start? When we come to that moment, then we are ready to start emulating from the fast growing nations. The only way to grow in life for the few that I have known for my few years of living on earth, is that one grow by emulating from those that are doing very well. You don't grow when you ignore those that are doing better and you are only imitating those that are moving backward. You don't grow that way. So many of us, over 50-60% of Nigeria, had been to the Western world, to the European world, to the Asian world, or to American world. We have been there. But the issue here, the truth is that we've all have passed through this Western world, but we did not allow the Western world to pass through us. That is why we're still living in the situation we're living today. How do we eradicate these menaces? How do we bring statutory to this pugnacious terrain? How do we eradicate a situation that every one of us is practically as if we don't know where we're heading to? We are just there, no direction. Everything we know how to do, like I said, is all about fault finding. But fault finding is not going to bring any solution to our table. What we have to do is to identify the reasons why Nigerians are still crawling around the same circle for over 57 years. We need to find out where the solution is. We need to find out what is the reason and what brought about this. This is what we should be thinking about every day and every night. Now I want to tell you something. Every 4 years we conduct election. And when we conduct election, or before the primaries and all the electoral campaign, every youth like me, like you, we are all willing to say let them start. Let them start for only one reason. Because we know that we can make money in this time from that process. Now, the practice of you making such money, you are also at the same time selling what? Your power. That's what you don't understand. Yes. Now, we are fighting to eradicate something very, very important. We want every candidate that want to contest for every public office to do it in the right way. For example, during electoral campaign, so many candidates, they go on their streets and spray money from their upper roofs, from their windows of their car, from the windows of their cars and everything. And so many youths are running after them, picking those money and some breaking their heads along the road. And those that spread this money for you are those that you want to vote for, are those you want to cast the ballot for. And some of you go to a corner where they are sharing bag of rice and bag of salt just to ensure that they entice you to get your vote. And some of you take some money, they give you 5,000, 10,000 or 50,000 just for you to cast your vote. What you don't understand and what I'm telling you today is that don't take such money. When they are going on their streets spraying those money, just understand from today that that is the only way you can identify those that are not ready to make the nation move forward. In other words, there are two ways that I have for you. There are those that are called politicians. And there are others that are called criminicians. There's a big difference between a criminician and a politician. The criminician is coming with a criminal mind well designed. And these are those that spend money for you during the electoral campaign. The politicians are the ones that are coming to really do the job. And what we are asking them right now, and every one of us, is that if you are coming as a candidate, don't possess this manner of spraying money to the youth, because you are only using this money to blindfold them and get their vote. And after you get their vote, all you're busy doing for the next 4 years is how you can recover that money which you have spent lavishly. We don't need your money. We don't need your bag of salt. We don't need your bag of rice. We don't need your clothing materials. We don't need your money that you spend from your open roof. What we need is someone who can move this nation a better place, who can move this nation forward, who can help us, every man and every woman of Nigeria, to ameliorate a greater height. That is what we are seeking for. That's what we are seeking for. We are not looking for a man to spray us money. We are not looking for a woman to call us and give us Ghanaians gold of some millions. What we're looking is somebody who wants to see critically to the problems of Nigeria, to the reason why we are still walking around on the same point. How long are we going to remain in these double-standard states? Have you asked yourself, how long are we going to remain like this? How long are we going to remain taking bribes and doing everything that only brings us backward and not forward? How long are we going to know the truth and doesn't want to speak it? How long are we going to continue doing the barbaric act or conducting the barbaric act that we are conducting in this nation? How long? Ain't we ashamed of ourselves that every time our neighboring countries, they have the mouth and the guts to speak down on us, to insult us and say every repugnant word against Nigeria? Ain't we ashamed of ourselves yet? When are we ready to wake up from our slumber? When are we ready to take the matter seriously and begin to take the matters of Nigeria highly seriously in our mind? When are we ready to put the name of Nigeria first before anything? When are we ready to step out from prime commitments? When are we ready? When are we ready? When you are committing those crimes, you need to understand that you are not denting your name on your father's name. What you are denting is the image of Nigeria. That is what you are denting. When you are committing the crime, like the game that you guys are playing that is called Yahoo Yahoo, what you are doing is that you are denting the image of Nigeria. That is what you are doing. You make the money and make it for yourself, but the image of Nigeria become like a breath. That is what you are doing. You don't understand that the man is not interested in knowing your name or your surname. What the man or the woman is all interested in is to know that you hail from Nigeria. And that is a debt upon every Nigerian, even the children that are yet unborn. When are we ready to change our mindset and begin to ameliorate a great height? When are we ready? That is the question. And I'll tell you the answer is here. We have done so wrong and fought in the wrong direction for over 57 years. The time has come. The opportunity is before you. 2019 is right here. You must use this opportunity very well. You must use it entirely. You must know what to do and how to do it best. You must begin to put the image of Nigeria first before anything. You must begin to see the image of Nigeria, because this is what has to do with yourself, your children, even the generations to come. Time has come that we wake up from our slumber, like I said once again. That is the message we brought for you. And also, we are educating each and every one of us, the youth of this country. Those of us that are male children, or male child in this nation, the men. We are educating us to start to value our women, to start to stay away from domestic violence in all its kind and form. Domestic violence is not a conduct that ought to be practiced by any nation or citizens of any nation that wish to move forward. Discrimination upon the female gender is a curse in any nation. A curse. There is no nation that will ever reach her full potential without carrying the women along. Our women are not less than any man. And no man is less than every woman. Our women merit the same right that our men have. And this is why in this NGO, the Lost Voice Empowerment Initiative, The motion to fight for the rights of our women is completely on a high tone. We are asking our honorable lawmakers, our senators, to look critically into this direction. That our women, they merit the same way that we have. That we need to educate our youth on how to treat our women in a better way. If any man see himself as a king, let that man see his wife as a queen. Treat your wife as a queen. Don't treat your wife as if it's a slave. No woman is a slave. To be a female Nigerian is not to be an inferior Nigerian. It is not. The Constitution of this country ought to recognize the right of every man and the right of every woman on equal basis. And this is the question, and this is what we are talking about. One of those things we're talking about. And also, we want to tell you that in 2019, we are asking each and every one of us to wake up and take the matters of Nigeria very seriously. Very seriously, in the sense, for example, of that we need to pay tax to the government. We need to pay tax from the work that we do, from the business that we run. We need to pay tax. A country where the people, the indigenous will pay tax, the country cannot move forward. Our mindset is so engraved in oil, and that is the only thing that we see as our resources. It is not possible for oil to cater for the government and cater for infrastructure and every other development in the nation. We have to see this thing critically. It is a bitter truth, but you need to understand this. The Europeans that we are saying, they are going to abroad and they're not seeing them. The Europeans, every man, every woman, they pay their taxes to the government. And that is why those countries are prospering. I have been there for over 15 years. I know how it works. I am not telling you of what I don't know. I am telling you of what I can attest for. This is true. We can't expect our leaders to do everything when we are not playing our own part. We can't expect our leaders to do everything when we are not taking responsibilities. We can't expect them to meet up with all our expectations when we don't want to pay tax to the government. And those in government that receive this tax, they need to learn how to use it judiciously. And not the way it has been swindled and been used by some members of them. But it has to be used in such a way that the taxpayer will also be a beneficiary of the same. We have to come to that consciousness that when you need something, you have to work for it. Nothing comes to any man free. We have to work for it. Every man needs to pay tax. Every woman needs to pay tax to ensure that we are able to achieve that nation that we have so longed for. No one is going to construct this country for you and I. Listen today, that is the truth. No one is going to do it. No one. No British man is coming to construct Nigeria for us. No German man is coming to give us that Nigeria. No Spanish man, no French man, and no Italian man. The only people that is falling onto to make this Nigeria that we have lost so many years ago are Nigerians themselves. It is falling onto us to build that which is broken. Or we will allow this country to fall into a valley of disrepair. And when it comes to that, it will be too late. We have to understand. We need good medical facilities. We need good schools. We need infrastructure. We need good roads. We need all these beautiful things. The only way is that you pay your tax and I pay my tax. And our resources will support. That is the only way. There is no other two ways about it. Don't hope on crude oil. Don't hope on any other mineral resources. You have to do your responsibility. You need to play your part and let me play my part, and that is how we can get it. Now it is ringing everywhere. Lagos State is working. Lagos State is working. Lagos State is working. Do you know why it is working? Because of those of you that are paying your tax. That is why it is working. There are other states in Nigeria that are not even close to Lagos State at all because they don't understand the power in paying tax. We have to understand this thing. Except for those that are happy with the kind of terrain that we are living, the situation that we are living in. And also, the other day, we sent a message to the president of this country that we don't know what is happening. When I was born in the year 1978, I joined those in my childhood that first started Up NEPA. Today I'm 40 years old, and my little daughter has also started chanting Up NEPA. I don't know if we are happy living in this situation. I don't know if there are some cabals that we cannot know about. I don't know if there are some deals that have been made with China and every other country in Asia to supply generator to this country and produce carbon monoxide that is condemning our lives, that is condemning our lungs. We are tired. It is said that one cannot give what he or she doesn't have. It's only this country that is supplying other country power where we doesn't have the power. What is wrong with us? Why are we so money conscious? Our mind is enshrined in money making and make it fast. Every man and every woman in Nigeria is not after making good name but making good money. Money cannot give you good name. What you need is good name. Good name is better than bad riches. People are calling you names everywhere. They are calling you Shiro. They are calling you this. They are calling you a sort of names that is not written in the Encyclopedia Britannica. But what you still don't understand is you are still more after money making and not after name making. When are we going to wake up? When is going to wake us up? The British that are pretending, the Germans, the Americans that are pretending to be our friends, they are not our friends, but your enemies. Because they understand your wicked point. They are only helping us to go more to trade, but they are not doing anything to help us. We have to call ourselves to that consciousness and wake up and go home sober and say, how do we move forward? How do we change this fire that is burning in my vein? How do we make it work? How do we get this nation to become like every other nation in the advanced world? How do we make it work? What should we do? Where should we do it? Let's cry a little bit and let's understand this thing. We don't have any other one. That is true. Now, I want to talk about keeping neatness. This is keeping tidy. Keep your environment in the best of attitude. Now in this nation, this is not because we are Nigerians, but we like dirty environment. I just don't know why. If it is a cause, I don't know. Nigerians, we can consume a sachet water, but we cannot take that sachet water and put it in a place where it is well prepared for such just. All we know how to do is how to drink, consume, and throw it on the public road. Your bottled water on the public road. You are waiting for the local government to come and sweep it for you. How come that you have the sense to consume the water that is in the sachet and you don't have the sense to keep the sachet inside your car or inside your bus or anywhere? That when you go home you can bring out your foot mat and circulate it. How come that you don't have that knowledge? Why are some of us behaving as if we are pigs? Because it's only pigs that behave or live in a dirty environment. When are we going to think and start to do what is right? This road right now, take for example that a camera is driving this road and see how heaps of your dust or whatever your garbage is being lodged there. How will the Cameroonian describe the Nigerians? It's going to say, what a dirty Nigerian. What a dirty Nigeria mean? You, mean me, mean everybody. But we all are not involved in dropping those drugs there. Some of you are involved. And some of you are doing this thing knowingly and fully conscious of it. But you don't care. The reason is this. I'm going to tell you. I have studied this for so many years. This is in my faith. I can let it stay. I have to speak it out. We have to change the policy that we have dwelled in for 57 years, known as not the no policy. Not the no is what is killing us. We do all sort of things and behave anyhow just because we have the mind that not no. We must change not the no to na me no. When you begin to see that you know in anything you do, then you are ready to change it. No man will ever change his or her way. No man or any woman will ever change his or her way if he or she is not willing to acknowledge what he or she is doing wrong and how to do it right. The only way to change is for you to acknowledge what you are doing wrong and planning how you can do it right. That is the only way to change. It's the only way. We are not talking about the change of any political party, because we are not a brief header of any political party. We are not aligned with anyone. We are only conscious, and we are only having the interest of our beloved nation, Nigeria. And that is why we are bringing to you. That change starts with you and I. That for us to have that nation that we have so long for, we need to change ourselves. No one can change me. I can only change myself. No one can change you. You have what it takes to change yourself. Until you and I we are ready to change ourselves, no leader can change us. That is just the truth. This is not about who is coming next year. This is not about who has been there. This is not about who will be coming 2023. This is not about who is coming 2027 or who will be coming 2031. It's all about you and I. Are we ready to change our mindset? Are we ready for the new nation? Are we ready? Are we tired of our dirty lives? Are we ready to emulate new life? Are we ready? When we believe and know that we are ready, that is the time we will achieve this great nation. I pray that God Almighty will allow us to achieve this nation. But I'll tell you one thing, brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter the faith that you practice. It doesn't matter how you practice it. One thing is sure, that we all believe in God. But I'll tell you one thing. Heaven helped those who help themselves. God did not tell you, I will help you so you can help yourself. God said, you will help yourself, then I will bless you. Until we are ready to help ourselves and do what is right, no God is going to help us anymore. Because God has helped us enough. He gave us his son, Jesus Christ. He did everything for us. Even the land Nigeria where we reside. This country, he blessed us with countless resources. So when you're killing yourself in prayers and prayers and prayers without taking action, you are wasting all that God has given you. You are wasting it, because it doesn't work that way. Too much prayers and fasting without taking action is wasted. That is truth. We have to start taking action. We believe too much in this country that we can pray and fast and wake up and see a Ghana must go full with dollars behind our bed. That is what our religious leaders have cost us. That is the level they have twisted our brain. So many of us, we are walking, but our medulla oblongata is being twisted by our leaders. Our leaders, be Christian leaders or be Islam or whatever, you guys have twisted our brain. It's not by prayer alone, it's by taking action. Yes, we are not taking any action. We are believing God to do everything for us. We are believing Ogie to do everything for us. We are believing things to do everything for us. We are believing IMF. We are believing in World Bank. World Bank are taking us as a slave. That is the truth. We have to change what is ours in order for another man to start to value it. Remember this word. Remember this word. If you drop your beautiful dress on the floor, another man will take it and use it to clean the floor. That is exactly what is happening to us. That is why people are looking down on us, offshores, because we don't know our value. We don't know what God has given us, and we are still asking him for more. That is the truth. We need to start to value ourselves and recognize what God has done for us and begin to utilize it and take in action if really we want a great nation. That is my message for you. That's my message for me. That's my message for my beautiful daughters, my family, and the whole of you that are my brothers and sisters. In this nation, we should do away with nepotism. Remember, a Muslim man is my brother. A Christian man is my brother. An Indian man is my brother. And those that doesn't believe in anything, they are my brothers and sisters. I love everybody the same way. And that is how it ought to be. Don't use religious sentiment to destroy or segment Nigeria. Yes, we all are worshiping God, only one God. And this has nothing to do with politics. Stop people playing politics with human life. We are tired of these criminals. We are tired of criminals. We need politicians. And I don't say that there are no good politicians, but most are criminals. And the people are also aiding and abetting by aiding the criminals. We have to wake up. Time has come that we have to wake up. We have to take this matter seriously and do that which will spur our lives forward, that will make us to become the leader, at least of this continent, Africa, and not decay. Yes, because that is what God has destined us to be. This I have said, and I'll repeat once again. It is falling unto us to take this nation to a greater height, or we will allow it to fall into a valley of disrepair. This I have said again. Thank you. And may God bless you all. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.